Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Perillo, and I'm wearing a different shirt. That's the thing I did today. Monday. It was a Monday. Oh my god. Oh my god. It was classic Monday. It was a day that ended in a Y. But despite it being Monday, I'm here, and you're there, and we're here together. So thank you for joining. Hello, Mad Monkey, Krusty, and Sebastian. Good to see you. Andrew Wombat, U2, Stone Monkey Research, Bob Carnes, Silver Zero. Happy to have everybody here. New shirt, new week, yes. Try to save the laundry, given that Diana is now sick. Diana was kind of sick yesterday, but she's still moving around, and then today she was out. So Jedi, I feel, was on the mend. I thought I was possibly going to get sick, and I didn't get sick. So I guess that's the best thing that came out of the Mondays. I if it's going to happen, it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, it's no good. I have been. I mean, not like there was extra work that I'd normally not do. I mean, I generally run the errands. I generally keep things going. Generally keep. I'm a taskmaster. So yes, it was definitely Monday. But I was printing most of the day on MakerDeck. I got my Bamboo Lab plate in, the new plate, and I realized when I opened it, I ordered the wrong one. I wanted the textured PEI, the Flexi, and I didn't get that. I got like an engineering one, like a high temperature one. I'm like, I don't, I'm not going to use this. So I'm kind of sad. Like, my fault, totally my fault. I screwed up. I got the wrong plate, and now the plate that I want is back ordered. So, gonna stick with the same old plate with the glue stick and everything. It's working fine. There's no issue with it. It's just I wanted to be done with the glue stick, so I was excited. Only to find out, yeah. Oh, I got the iPhone 14 Pro Max case that they sent. Mouse sent a case. They had me pick one out from the store, and I was like, I don't know. I'm really bad at picking out cases because I tend to go, just the black one. But the only black ones they really had were leather. So I'm like, not a good thing for a vegan, but hey, you want that? Knock yourself out. Mouse is apparently mouse. So get your iPhone a mouse. That's right. iPhones are now mouse compatible. You wanted to use your Apple Pencil? Nay. But you can use a mouse. So I'll be showcasing this when we do the iPhone 14 fun boxing later this week. I believe it may be coming in on Thursday. That may be the day. Possibly. I got the Droid Factory set that I was looking forward to. Actually, got it on. They had it on sale, surprisingly enough, the other day. Sorry, that's way too close. They had it on sale, and then it went up. So it was like $30, like $33, and then it went up. So here, let me get a better shot there. Let me get the picture. Let me hold it this way. So these were droids from Obi-Wan Kenobi, and so I'll be opening this. Cannot wait to tear into that because Star Wars figures. Liz, I can't remember. I think you sent this one. The Cote Obscure. Yeah, this is definitely this was a Liz sent cookie decorating kit. So it is now the time of year. I went and got one at Target, but it wasn't Star Wars, and I realized, oh wait, we have Star Wars cookies. Of course, this one only comes with 3. So some people are going to have to go without a cookie. I think they will survive. And then I also there are a couple of new Star Wars mini brands. So this is a miniature version of the larger version of the toy that's available at the Disney store. They're doing Disney Store mini brands. Jedi got it for her birthday. There's also a Rey figure, but I can't find one listed online yet for some reason. And then there's also there was a regular Stormtrooper. This is the miniature one. That's gold. Love gold. So those two came in. There's also a gold Yoda, and then another one. that are going to be coming. So yes, there are Star Wars mini brands, quite a few. Did I see a story about the iPhone Pro models camera freaking out? I did, as a matter of fact. But why does this thing have a low battery, dude? I charged it like normal. That's kind of weird. Yes, it does. Give me a second. We also have some late order Jedi invitations. These were printed out and then the date changed. I didn't realize they got ordered and there was no way to return them, but oh well. Maybe next year we can do this. Oh, no, it says the day, so we can't do it next year. Dang it. Or we have to, no, because she's turning 9 next year. Boy, this invitation sucked. Hey, Sam Dice Q? I can't even begin. I did see the news about the iPhone 14 Pro cameras freaking out. They're gonna fix it. It's gonna be fixed within a week. Something like that was gonna get fixed fast because enough people were having problems with it and people were posting videos and everything like that. I guess when third-party apps call the camera, it wigs out. Like, whoa, holy cow. Holy cow. So that will be fixed. The workaround is don't use your iPhone camera within third-party apps until that is fixed, and then you're good. Creative placement of stickers to fix, no doubt. That's the way you do it. Okay, well, I got one more thing here. That was kind of cool. New hand towels. No notification for the sub. There was a sub? Oh, sorry, I missed the sub. Oh, Mark H, thank you. Thank you, Mark H. Almost done with this bag. Ugh. Yeah. So this one says, hang on, may the fall be with you. See? May the fall. Can you get that? Kind of hard to like show you the tag, but also it's the tag line. May the fall be with you. They didn't have others, but this would be, I feel, sufficient. One that we could use on the stove and then one to hold on to indefinitely. They do get used around here. Okay, break-in meetings, no worries, dude. Have fun. Eat your cereal. He figures, no notification, no black licorice. No, I'll play fair. I will play fair. I will definitely eat the jelly bean, as promised, in September. Because it's a Monday, might as well. It's a day that ends in Y. So I re-uploaded, this time around, I re-uploaded my Samsung internet browser, because it did very well on my original channel. So I re-uploaded it in the new one, hoping that it would get more eyeballs in a tech channel. So some of my more recent videos, tech videos that I might have done that I feel pretty good about, may end up making their way into the tech YouTube channel. So if you've seen them before, I apologize. I'm even doing the same thing with shorts. I'm like, I thought this was kind of stupid, funny, pointless. So I've re-uploaded a couple other shorts. I've got some possible scripts. I've been thinking about other funny tech-oriented shorts to do. I gotta master that new skill. So, yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna like the iPhone. I'm not sure I'll love it. It still is running iOS, and thank you everybody for tagging me on Twitter. There's a few people who have been tagging their videos of the slop, and I'm like, and this is the thing I'm going to say about that, and it may end up making its way into a future video, but these are the types of issues in iOS that Apple users used to make fun of Android users about. They used to they'd rake Android across the coals for things like that. And now the tables have absolutely turned. Like no one would, like in the Android world, no one would put up with that. It would never take off. It wouldn't. But Apple, because it doesn't necessarily have direct competition, because it's got its own ecosystem, and in the way that it wants to do it, just doesn't really find that type of problem to be a problem, which is my problem with it. So I'm just saying, Apple users used to make fun of Android for things like that and far worse. So I saw a 25-cent temporary tattoo machine, grabbed 3 of them. Oh my God, I wouldn't do that. That's I would have gone to like Dollar Tree or something. Then again, we're kind of full up on a lot of those tattoos. We have a few of the tattoos. A few tattoos. All right, let's take a look at everybody's makes. Right now, I'm printing. I don't have anything going on the Bamboo because I was doing that mostly today. Let me zoom in for you. And I'm glad I've got the Bamboo working again, and the printed solid filament is working great in it. Like it's in fact, the printed solid filament I feel comes out smoother, probably because of the temperature on the Bamboo. There we go. It comes out a little smoother on the Bamboo compared to the way it has on the Prusa. So I attribute that to the high temperature that the Bamboo is running. Sorry, that's not like completely in focus there, but did my best. Did I finish the coaster? Yes. Sorry, I gotta move some stuff around here. Came out really well. Look at that here. Oops. Let's do this. There you go. See if I can get an. I don't know if there's a perfect shot for it, but it's basically that. So it's red, gold. Yeah, you're not really getting. I mean, you're getting some gold notes. It's mostly red, but like it's definitely more duotone. Let me see if this. Yeah, like the filament I'm using now. See, it's more gold. Gold and red, just like the Stormtroopers I'm printing there. It's really nice. It's a nice coaster. Although I will say, when I downloaded the coaster, I found it to be a little too thick. So I basically, cut off some from the bottom, cut off some from the top. I mean, top is just a coaster, right? It's a very simple coaster. Saved like half the filament. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Hey, Darth Gallum. Yeah, it came out very, very well. Hello, Real Mark. You. And Stormfist. Yeah, I think you were saying that your iPhone's late. I think mine may be coming early. It was supposed to be like on the 22nd. Although, wait. Never mind. No, the 28th. And it may actually be coming in on the 22nd. This Thursday. So, I was like, ooh. Theoretically, I'm not going to hold my breath. They're probably going to hold it back. I'm like, yes. UPS or whatever shipping service that we're using. This package is going to Chris Perillo. He doesn't like our software as much, the mobile software. So was wondering if you could just kind of hold it back a bit until he likes it. It'd be great. All right, thank you. Yeah. Okay, bye. I'm Tim Cook. Okay, so did I do that. Gonna browse everybody's makes. Oh, speaking of browsing everybody's makes, Liz, I'd assume, Liz or someone, I'm going to guess Liz, because she sent the link. Liz set up a new channel on Discord, and it's Maker Portfolios. So if you look under For the Makers, in that section, you got like Maker Portfolios, Models to Make, 3D Printing Help, Filament Fun, Fails. So I'm thinking of basically eliminating filament, or I'm thinking of eliminating 3D Printing Help, because now we have tech support at the top. And I'm thinking we should just be threading that. So just assume within the next day or so, we're going to be getting rid of 3D printing help. I mean, I know there's a lot of information in there, so it may just end up going private, may not actually completely delete it, but we've got to start pushing people towards tech support because there's a ticketing system, and it's easier to manage threads that way. So I'd rather push people to tech support, that official thread, and so in order to do that, we basically have to close down the other forum. So instead of nuking the other forum, I'm thinking of just, just in case, for the next, I don't know, a few months, and if no one needs anything from there again, then, it's gone. Because otherwise the server gets a little unmanageable with all these channels. Like, well, what's going on where? What's going on? What's here? What's there? You got to keep it, clean, easy, effective, people like kind of self-explanatory. So that worked well before we had a ticketing system, but at this point we're going to move on, from the 3D printing help and push people to the Techsport, which someone used today, which is fantastic to see. Sky's the Limit used it and got a few responses coming in, which is awesome. Awesome to see. I'm glad y'all are using Discord like that. Very, very, very glad. Hey, wait, Spitting Moon, you just followed again? Really? Okay. Welcome back. Turn that off and turn this on. Phone stand printed in X3D Blue Diamond Sparkle PLA Pro with TPU feet and cushioning pads. Very soft. Soft, like my facial hair. Very soft. One of the better Apple Watch stands I've seen, done in Sunlu Black PLA. That is a nice one. Oh, it kills me. Apple Watches are black, yet the cables are white. I'm like, okay. Okay. Darth Gallum's done a light-up ghost. Ooh, that's a nice ghost model, Darth Gallum. That's a really nice one. I like that filament choice, too. And thank you for that link. A cute ghost. 0% info. How long did that take, I wonder? Because I'm thinking for the kids. There's R2 Cap 2. I am gonna print those. I am, for the valve caps. I don't know, like, our car is like gray, but I don't want to draw attention to them, I want them to be there, but I have a feeling they're going to get stolen. I have this strange feeling. Triple Venti with his 3D modeled house, which is just wild to me. That is just wild. What do I think of when I hear the word technology? Anymore, I feel when I hear it, I just... Thank you, Silver Sunbeam. Didn't hear the notification. When I think technology, I actually worry. And I don't mean that in the wrong way. Technology is great. Like, I wonder if this should be a good conversation. I'm gonna record just in case this ends up being a good conversation I want to save for the YouTube channel. So thank you for bearing with. Because like I said, if I get sick, I'm down for the count. I gotta remember not to touch the desk. It's key. So I'm gonna riff. The DOS Nerd asks, here comes a question. Oh, well, I guess that was the question. What do you think of when you hear the word technology? I can tell you these days, I think differently than the way I thought when I was substantially younger, because back then, in the days of rotary dial, technology was just far and away this amazing, world-changing, life-changing thing that was so priced out of our range. Any technology that we got would have been just overwhelming, like terribly exciting. And so technology, to me as a kid, is different than technology is to me now. Now, tech is in everything. Everything. You can't go anywhere without some amount of technology touching it in one way, shape, or form, whether we can see that technology or not. Whether we're face to face with a digital display. or whether we're holding on to a product that has been, managed by way of some kind of shipping system that is managed by technology. And I'm sure it was that way in the past, but not as prevalent, at least as far as accessing technology was concerned. And that is what makes me feel differently about technology today compared to the way I used to feel about technology, back then. I actually get worried sometimes when I hear the word technology today. Not because I don't think what it brings is awesome, but because I understand that sometimes what it brings is awesome and not necessarily in a good way. Like, certain things just don't need that much more tech to be better. Like, I don't need smart everything. I'm going to use my toaster without firmware, although I can't really say that because we don't have a toaster right now. But I don't want a toaster that is connected to anything. Me personally, it's just not my thing. It may be your thing, not my thing. I would rather know that what it is that I'm using, I'm using this electronic, right? This piece of technology, but not using it with a feature that, quite honestly, feels superfluous. And so a lot of technology today just seems to be iterative. I mean, you do definitely have like breakthrough products, certainly, but I cannot tell you like what it used to be like back then, and even in the early days of Locker Gnome, right, in the mid 90s. It was just so exciting to walk into a store that had a software aisle. Like, I used to love looking at the software, and even at the new PCs back then. Used to love it because that was the only way to get to it, because the internet just wasn't what it was today, clearly. Now it's just everywhere. It's in your face. Like, cables and old devices just become clutter. Last year, I went through and basically purged 90% of the cables that I've been accruing over the years, because I was just like, I'm never going to use a mini USB device minus maybe needing one or two cables. And then even if I do need an extra cable, I'm sure I can find one and I'd pay the money versus paying to store cables. So technology to me today, we're living in a world of, and I don't mean this in a bad way, actually a good way, overabundance, right? We have more technology than we know what to do with. And we're looking for ways to get technology into more places, as well we should. Like, let's say, for example, the 5G wave, so to speak, right? Connecting everything everywhere, or newer services to allow for phones to be connected to satellites remotely without any service around. I mean, that's life-changing. I mean, that's life-saving. And I think that's amazing. That's the type of technology that's exciting, but it's a different kind of exciting than the way technology used to be, because we just didn't have it. There was scarcity. We didn't have an overabundance. We didn't have the option and opportunity and accessibility to get something like a car phone back then. Of course, unless you were related to Daddy Warbucks, which I was not. So it was always one of those things that I lusted after as a kid, and even into adulthood, that came with me, that interest in what software and technology could do to transform lives. I've said it for a long time. Tech is a great enabler, and that's what really gets me excited about technology today. So when I see technology, I think differently. I think awesome. But the awesome power of technology, unrestrained, can be overwhelming. And without an understanding of something, that could be potentially devastating in one way or another. I'm interested in what AI is doing. Absolutely. Like the AI image generators, dude. Like, there are very few newer technologies that come around that I feel are accessible to someone like me. And those AI image generators, specifically like the ones you can run on your desktop, either Windows PC or now there's a Mac version where I think it's Stable Diffusion. There are a couple of clients out there that I'd be able to share with everybody if you were so inclined for me to talk about it, because I love it. But even then, AI, if left to its own devices, we don't know where that's going. We kind of know where it's going, but we really don't know where it's going. And that's an awesome power, and it's different. So I recognize as an adult with experience with technology, what can go wrong, what might go wrong. As a kid, can't afford it. And then when you could afford it, there was only so much that it could do. So when I think of technology today, I think it's awesome. Awesome. As a kid, it was just awesome. And I find myself vacillating between, I'm kind of like the frosted mini wheats, right? The frosted side of me is awesome. And the healthy side, who's, got to get his prostate checked every so often, says, watch out. Don't yet chat. That's the voice. And that's why I don't do much of this anymore, because the voice in my head is just probably need technology implanted in the brain. That's coming. Mark my words. Transhumanism is coming, and that we're not far off, if not already there. So I have different thoughts about technology, but most of them are rooted in believing that it can be there to help, while understanding the risks of just what it might hurt. And that could very well be me, right? Technology can be used and it can be abused. So when I think of the word technology, it's not always the gee whiz, or I'll say this, it's no longer the gee whiz. It's more like, and now what? How does this improve my life? What does this do for me? Does this make this better or worse? In many cases, when you go out to the world, the real world, beyond me brushing my microphone here, doing my best not to refocus the camera, because it's a fancy camera. If I hold my hand up close, it refocuses. So I can show off like the things that I'm 3D printing. I got into 3D printing because I could do things like this, make Darth Vader coasters and tiny little stormtroopers, in various filament colors. That's fun. That gets me excited. Not because of the 3D printer, but because of what I can make. The kid in me loves Star Wars figures, so that's why I'm still into it. It's something where if you go out to the real world and, there's a new technology that's there to make your shopping experience better. How many times have you used new technology that just didn't work, or was unusable, or was just really bad? Like, it's just like, wow, this is new. This is worse than the way it used to be. It takes longer. It's a kludge. It wasn't designed very well, and I got to use this. I have no choice but to use this? I think not. And it's usually because of usability problems. Software problems, not the hardware. The software problems, that's your experience. And don't tell me you've never run into a problem like that when you've gone out to the real world and used new technology that a store might be using, or like, you're checking into a place, or some technology that you are forced to use and you realize just how unusable it is. So new technology may not necessarily be the best choice. That's what I think about when I hear the word technology. I think about all the ramifications. I think about the implications. I think about the applications specifically to me. And I realize it's a lot of heavy thinking, but you asked the question and I'm more than happy to answer. Was that a fair answer? Was that fair? Hopefully it was a fair answer. You remember those days starting out in 1976 before there was anything such as a PC? We do not need technology and toasters. Oh, I agree. We should have the option of turning technology off in our devices. Hybrid robotics. Totally agree. Anyway, so that video is probably going to be ignored by most people, but I feel that was worth talking about, vocalizing. But, that was an incredible answer. Oh, thank you. Thank you, the DOS Nerd. I hope other people appreciate it, just because I'm not like, well, here's the 13 apps that if you don't use on your Android device, you're going to die. I'm not into the clickbaity stuff. I'm getting better with thumbnails, though. I feel I'm getting better, though. I feel like handing that kind of thing off to an expert, like a graphics person, like a Fix'em dude would serve me better. What's the weirdest smartphone I ever saw? I wouldn't say weirdest. The worst one was the first Android device I used. It was Evo something. Oh, this is an iPhone killer. I'm like, this is going to kill itself, dude. This is bad. Remember when technology was a long stick to change the channels? Yeah, I was that long stick. I have too many mini USB, FireWire 400. Yeah, I got rid of them. I saved one or two, and I'm like, there's no point. I'm like, useless. Like now, it's just like USB-C or, well, Lightning, I gotta wait for Apple to get on the ball with that. But USB-C, I hope, is the last, or Thunderbolt is the last type of cable that I might need. Got to worry about mini DisplayPort too. Technology has changed how we do things, like Chick-fil-A. Used to go inside, order at the counter, wait, etc. Now I order in the app. The order's ready when I get there. When the app is down, I get frustrated and end up going elsewhere. See, that's what I'm saying? I think some of these upgrades to technology is meant to make life easy, but makes us lazy. Yeah, I don't disagree with that either. Oh yeah, there's a big fan. There are a lot of smartphones I'd love to try overseas. Seriously, there's some really nice user interface. I'm like, ooh, that'd be kind of fun to do. Hang on. Oh, Liz said that came from our impromptu radio show. It was a great idea, and I guess they did another impromptu show today, which is awesome. And she said it went well, which is good. I gave Liz an idea that she thought was good too. That will be leading up. So I don't want to say anything about it because she's gonna take that ball and run with it. But it was a really good idea. Good things. See, that's what I'm saying. Good things come when people talk out loud. People come and they brainstorm and they just say things, and good things come of it. That's usually how I, for better or for worse, that's how I process things. I have to say it out loud and maybe thinking about it until I vocalize it, like, whoa, No fair, I don't want to miss the Liz shows. Well, Mighty Bean, I'm not promising anything, but when this happens again, it may be time to start recording at some point. No stress. But to put it into a new YouTube channel, a MakerDeck YouTube channel. So they're like podcasty kind of things. Think out loud, talking out loud is just talking. True. No, I talk inside my head, That's my voice. My rant on Windows Vista, that was classic. Why did these things not charge? Technology! These things decided to die on me. Are they charging now? I don't know if they're charging. Hope they're charging. I won't be able to hear any sound effects because both the headphones died, which is just bizarre to me because I take them off right away. Yeah, I've done a lot of long rants. Then live video happened on YouTube. Geez. Actually, I want to hear your Vista rant. Oh God, it was recorded here in this chair, facing that computer with a crappy webcam. I've done a few crappy videos like that ended up tracking well. That's why I'm not too worried about production value as much. Although you do have to pay attention to that. Brittany, ooh, one more Photos Dragon. Oh, ooh, nice filament, dude. Sorry, dudette. That's really nice. That's nice. I like that one. The next time I get oh wait, hang on. Did that? Give me a second. One moment. Why did that not? There we go. For some reason, the Edge browser did not. So much of the new technology is really geared towards separating people from their money. Dark patterns and bad UX are not the feature, or the feature, not the bug. Yeah, Silver Sunbeam. That's why I'm kind of like, I'm always concerned. Like, what's the application? What's the implication? What's the ramification? What's occasions, right? And that's what gives me pause. And largely from where I come from, I'm like, it could hurt, it could help, but it could also hurt. I'm very well aware of that. Vista, what a time. Oh, let me tell you. It's still there in the old channel. And surprisingly, I uploaded the vlog yesterday. And I was like, okay, this is like 43 minutes. There's no way this is going to track well. I'm like, people actually watched it. Like, they're not watching it, at length, so it's never going to, go anywhere. It's never going to, but it's just, at this point, they're just vlogs. They're not really going to, they're not there apart from people. Oh, man. You know what? You know what's really funny is I'm hearting comments. I'm hearting comments that wait a minute. Is that? Yeah, that's Chris. That are being mean to me. I think it's throwing people off. Just like heart, heart, heart. Wait a minute. You hearted my comment? Oh, thank you. Sorry, Royal Nomi. Luckily, to this point, I've been able to avoid the cooties. Here. Okay, back to life. Back to reality. Retromaker TV, thank you so much for capturing this. Check out Maker Deck. Love it. Love it. There's Liz teasing out that she was on with a zombie again. So hopefully you caught that. Mad Cat yesterday eked in a Frankenstein's monster. Not Frankenstein. That is not Frankenstein. That is Frankenstein's monster. Dr. Frankenstein was the progenitor. Would that be the fair way of saying it? The mad scientist behind his monster. Did I say that right? Progenitor. And that was it, basically. That was all that was on our radar today, or tagged at least on the the thing, the Twitter spheres. So thank you for posting and tagging and sharing and doing all that. You're awesome. Awesome. Frankenstein. Frau, wasn't it Frau something? What was her name? And then every time you'd hear a horse go, "Aah!" Frau. Is brain. No, I got it from the jar. What's a jar that said what was the label? Abby what? Abby normal. Blucher, that was it. No, wasn't it? No, I was pretending. I was pretending to be Igor. Where's Mighty Bean? Mighty Bean knows Igor. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. So long. Oh yeah, I can do something about that. And then doesn't it move to the other side or something? I can't. So long ago. Oh, I remember a time we first... Wasn't that Michael Jackson? I remember a time... Well, I'm pulling out all the latest and greatest hits here in my head. I did want to record another video. I planned on doing one anyway, so none of this hurts. This is all just getting it in the queue. Okay, it's a slow day, no one's asking a question, don't really have anything. It's a good video to put out there, if only to back build content in the channel. Even though I know the stuff that's going to bring in most eyeballs on the channel is going to be hardware, and I've got to figure out who to contact to get into the hardware cycles, but that may take a while. Night, C. Travis. Thank you for hanging. The hardware review cycles, specifically smartphones. That's the thing that moves mountains. So I got to find a connector of that sort.
We have a Brit. The Sith Lord
I can't
Brit
hear any sound
has
effects right now because
requested your
my headphones died.
Immediately.
I
Sincerely,
assume I'm talking.
Sith Lord Brit the Third.
Did I finish? Have I finished? The third. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. Now I've officially finished. How you doing, Britt? Ooh. This is nice. The background. Look at the background on that. It's got Vader and Kenobi in there. Wow, that's cool. I'm glad they didn't, waste that opportunity. Sometimes packaging kind of I am Monday, Britt. That is my status is Monday. Oh, I should have asked someone else. this morning there was an Ahsoka doll. I mentioned this last night. There was an exclusive Ahsoka doll being sold on Shop Disney. It sold out. You can only order one. I'm like, because I wanted two. I wanted one to open, one to keep in the package. Either way, there was an Ahsoka doll. Maybe it'll go up for sale again. I don't know, but it was $49. I'm like, I grabbed it. I'm like, I had to. And it looked a lot like the Forces of Destiny dolls. So theoretically, they're going to have another one. Then I'll be able to order another one. Because I was ready to turn around and get another one. Because it's one per customer or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm going to reorder it. And then it said sold out. I'm like, oh, man. I eked it. I eked it. I eked it in. I geeked it in. I had... Thank you, 86. So, you know what was the biggest con of us all? Computer blue light glasses. Now, Gunners and big computer glasses brands discount their wearers since a study came out disproving that blue light glasses protect from blue light. Oh, man. Well, I'll go one step further. I don't do the night vision thing. You know, the thing where it's like, oh, it's night light or whatever, where the screen turns red. Honestly, I was like, I felt like it was worthless. So, yeah. Is that the same thing that blue light is what's the point? It's not doing any good. I'm like, well, what's the point? So I no longer do the red shift night light thing. Because it's like, why? Is that the same thing? Hello? Why aren't you in bed, honey? What's going on? Yep, I know, but you need to stay in bed, hon. She was homesick from school today, so she's got to recover because she's got to go back tomorrow. And I don't want her moving around necessarily a lot because then we get to tomorrow and she still feels that way. I'm like, no, you got to rest now. You hate night shift? I turned it off, basically. I completely turned it. Wow, this Probot is nice. Articulated limbs and everything. This is one of the nicer Probots that I've ever seen. Dude, every leg is articulated. That's wild. Oh, love that. I love the Forlom character too. His guns aren't coming out, but it's okay. Love the droids. Used to like Night Court. I did too. Used to watch it. Yeah, so I turned off night shift, and honestly, I haven't felt any. I haven't felt any better, or any worse, I should say. I just turned it off. I'm like, that's good. Don't need it. I'm good. I'm happy. It works. Too right. Okay. Yeah, so I don't do that anymore because I'm pretty sure it was the same. Unless I'm wrong. The blue light, is it the same thing? You can set it in Windows 11. Yeah, I don't do it anywhere anymore at all. Like, it's just pointless. I'm like, why? So it was a feature for a hot minute, but I think that study came out, and I'm like, I have anti-reflective lenses here, but that's a different scenario. I don't think they're the blue light maybe it's slight blue light, but it's not like copious amount like a gunner might have been. I didn't realize they were doing fire sales on those things, but that's good to know. Hang on. All right, give me a moment. I'll be right back. You feel like you're struggling with bus teaching yourself fusion? Oh, I wouldn't know where to begin, cheese bacon. I'm not into that. I wouldn't even know where to begin to even give recommendations. Although if you asked in the tech support section of the Discord server, someone might make, or even the recommendations, like you post what you just wrote there, post that into the recommendations on Discord, cheese bacon, and someone might be able to give you a recommendation. See, like that, Mad Monkey. Check out Product Design Online YouTube. Wait, what's the guy's name? His name is Online YouTube? Or is that just a typo? Product Design Online. Well, you talk about a name that's going to be... See, I thought, oh, that's a... I don't know if that's a unique name. But there you go. Cheese bacon, ask and ye shall receive. Happy to have made that connection for you. 3D Printy, also someone to listen to. I'd begin by making very simple shapes first. Fusion 360 is not the easiest for organic shapes. Silver Sunbeam, also giving a reco. I love it. I love the fact that I don't have to know everything. I don't want to know everything. I don't know what I would do. My brains would leak out of my head. All two of them. All two brain cells gone. Try to save my brain cells for a rainy day. Which should be any day now. If we get past this heat wave that we've got an autumn heat wave. We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. Paul McHorter has a series on his YouTube channel. Yeah, I'd imagine tutorials would be the way to start. Where there's a will, there's a way. Happy to help. Happy to enable. The wildfire smoke made it all the way to the East Coast. Well, we got new wildfire smoke today. I don't know where it's coming from, but like today I walked outside. I'm like, that's wildfire smoke. I know that smoke. Like, I know. It's weird how now I know those smells. Normally it'd be like, oh, I'm smelling it and like, this is interesting. I don't know what the smell is. And that was a few years ago. I didn't really know the wildfire smell until a few years back. So it's just one of those new things with climate change. And yes, it is happening. On shape. See, I'm still tinker-catting. It was just hazy? Oh, yeah. No, see, you know you're in the thick of it. It wasn't very hazy today. That's what surprised me. I'm like, oh, kind of odd. But it was definitely smoky. It was definitely that burn, like almost like a mesquite. Not quite, but close to it. Little Miss Muffet, she sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey. What little girl eats curds and whey? Well, you're talking about a nursery rhyme that was like centuries ago. So I'd imagine it's all about the milk, curds and whey, milk, and milk, eating her milk. So that is. They didn't have cheese. That back then they did not have cheese sticks. That's true. Key creator for the win. What's that? What is software? Dark Toy Lord? Key creator? I've never heard of it. Big sports fan? No, not really. Let's see here. What's key creator? Key creator. Wikipedia. Oh, it's a unconstrained CAD CAM built for fast and flexible design and manufacturing. I'm seeing a Windows XP interface, so it's been around for a while. It's Windows XP era stuff. Capterra? Capterra. Key creator. It is definitely professional. Oh, they're still stuck on the ribbon interface, though. One day you'll the ribbon, man. Ribbon was interesting. Like the first time I saw it, and then I'm just like, I don't know if I like this anymore. I'm glad that a lot of Office has been getting de-ribboned, but I try to spend as little amount of time in Office as possible. The less the better. Yeah, no worries, Cheese Bacon. If you have questions, people here would be happy to answer. All right, speaking of happy to answer, there's one thing I want to talk about. Not really a question that's been asked, but it's just been something that's on my mind. You know what really grinds my gears? You know what really grinds my gears? Is that right? Did I get that right? Sorry, bum. Oh, this is in the way. Hello, Eclipse Empire. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Love to you fly one. I was about to talk about how I feel a lot of iPad users want their iPad to work more like Samsung DeX. Like this is what they want in iPad apps. I mean, I would love this kind of experience on the Mac, but unfortunately, the apps that you can use on the Mac don't translate the same way. I feel good. Samsung does a better job with Android on these tablets that you know, detablifying or tablifying an experience, or I guess tabletifying an experience more than the other way around. Hey Jerry, good to see you. Welcome in. Happy Monday. Yeah, I'm thinking, Mark. I was thinking of doing that because I've got a few apps that I was going to pull up, but there's just something about like I mean, using the iPad for the first time, it was great, but I just seen a lot of people just kind of clamoring for like window management, and they seem to be trying with their, what's the new thing called, Stage Manager, which I guess has been pretty buggy in the beta. Could it be fixed? Most likely will be, because this is the tentpole feature, you know, like, but even then it's like, does it work? Does it work the way people need it to work? Do the apps work? Does the software work the way they need it to work? Is the user interface clean? Is it consistent? And you know, I feel like that's where I really was not aware of Dex. I didn't give it its due until I needed to try it, until I got it. So that's what I was going to talk about here. As my print finishes up, I did 4 Stormtroopers of the Apocalypse. No, in different angles, so that they, you know, the different filament went from one color to another. Actually, this is a good way of testing the filament colors to see how, before printing other things, because I can print Stormtroopers like this and get an idea of how they need to be rotated, if they need to be rotated. Yeah, that would have served me well. Tell us a story, Uncle Chris. Well, back in my day, we had something called rotary dial and phone books. And you could go to the phone book and look up somebody's name and get their number. Ooh, hang on. Ooh. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, booster chair. That's how I used it. I used it more as a booster chair. Tried FreeCAD like most of the FOSS. UX UI's lowest priority development list. I ran into a Figma FOSS alternative the other day. I don't know if anybody uses Figma, but I ran into one the other day. And then I've got that Stable Diffusion on my desktop called Charl E. Instead of DALL-E, Charl E. And I wanted to try. Because it's just like one package. It's like one binary. A Figma of your imagination, yes. We didn't have the fancy height adjustable seats and steering wheels. We took our buggy whip and we... have I tried printing with blacklight responsive filaments? If not, would you be willing to try some? Yeah, I'd be willing to try more. I have this. This should be UV reactive. I'm pretty sure this one's UV reactive. I don't have a blacklight on me, though. I should keep it just blacklight. Glow-in-the-dark film is the one that I really want to try. I need to order some from Polymaker so that I can just start whipping things out on the Bamboo, just like, yeah, I'll glow in the dark all the things. Because I don't really have any other projects necessarily on the horizon apart from trying some new filaments. Always got the 2 phone book booster seats when we had dinners at my aunt's house. Oh yeah, I remember. Well, I don't remember your aunt's house nor your booster seats, but all right. Now I want to talk. I'm going to get serious for a moment. I'd like to talk about something very important to me. That's not really important. Yeah, I'm going to do it Digital Dark Knight, so stay tuned. So this is the thing that's I've been thinking. If I have a UV flashlight, the Prusa filament will glow crazy bright. Oh, I don't know if I've tried the Prusa filament. Like the orange of the print. Yeah, I've done the orange. Definitely like lights up. So I'm pretty sure this is UV. I'm pretty sure this is. I thought I had another UV reactive one, but this may have been it. That I just so happen to have in my hand. The other one's not so much. The white, yeah, kind of, but no, even green, nice. It doesn't glow in the dark though. The glow in the dark filament, I'll do it on the Bamboo because it's got the hardened steel nozzle. I need to get some. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Neon brown. I don't know if I have any neon brown. I don't think I do. Neon. I have. Is that a printed solid? If so, I do have that. I just haven't printed in it yet. Sorry, as I was like thinking, I was like. All right. Ooh. Getting back to my mom. Oops, no. Haven't tried the neon brown. Where do I keep all the filament? In a couple cabinets. Oh, he did. Okay, so I may have it then. I may still have it. I'll have to go look. Thank you. All right. How do I begin this? Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, and many of you use iPads. I used to use an iPad. I still kind of use an iPad. I had an iPad Pro, still have it, really not in my direct possession. It's here. I let my daughter use it as her primary computer because it's easy enough to manage and it's simple enough for her to use, and I really don't have to worry about it. It's just there and it's good. I was using it, not just for work stuff, but also during my live stream. I would open up an NDI application and broadcast, the camera pointed down at my 3D printer to have another element there on Twitch. So I was using the iPad, maybe not like other people might, but it still worked, and it worked well enough. And then iOS came out with an update last year, and it kind of made the software keyboard go funky. and it changed how it looked. And I was using the keyboard stand pad protector contraption thing that you have on the iPad that gives it a keyboard and everything. It was nice. It was built really well, but the software update just made the software kind of like challenging to use because the software keyboard kept popping up, and I'm like, I can't wait for this to get fixed. This is not helping. I already have the keyboard here, but because iPad OS was not really built with keyboards in mind, you can use keyboards, yes, and the keyboards exist, and the keyboards are certainly compatible. But the operating system itself just didn't have that in mind outright. Then again, a lot of mobile operating systems didn't. So I'm not necessarily saying that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But I was using an iPad for the longest time, and was happy enough with it, but still frustrated with the limitations that I ran into with iPad OS that many Power iPad OS users complain about. So I'm definitely not the only one. So I was frustrated. I felt pain. I needed to find something else, but I didn't really think there was an alternative to the iPad. Because quite honestly, the last experience I had with an Android tablet was eons ago. I think it was like the Nexus 7, maybe? And I've used Chrome OS over the years, and I knew that I couldn't use Chrome OS in my specific use case. I needed to find some kind of viable Android tablet. So I searched online, best Android tablet, did exactly what y'all would do, and Samsung was recommended. I'm like, Samsung, really? I hadn't had a lot of experience with the Samsung. I'm like, all right, well, let's see how this works. I've been using an iPad for as long as I have. I'm aware of its strengths and drawbacks. I'm going to try the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. It was the S7 range. Even though I didn't have everything that I might have wanted, it had one thing that I absolutely needed, and that was specifically a high refresh rate screen. So 120 frames per second, smooth. So I walked into an electronics store, looked at it, did one swipe, and I'm like, dude, this is more responsive than my iPad. And I was like, okay, well, I moved stuff around like, dude, this is like, I'm whipping in and out, animations, smooth, slick, no dropped frames. I'm like, oh man, this is like, how did I not know about it? I'm like, it's kind of Samsung. I'm like, well, how can I de-Samsungify it? All right, well, I know about Good Lock. I'll use that, and let's see about, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, what's this DeX mode? What's DeX? What is Samsung DeX? I didn't know much about it. Hadn't done any research, had no experience with it. Open up Samsung DeX, and I'm like, oh my God, Samsung DeX is exactly what iPad users want. This is what they want iPad to be. I'm telling you right now, if you have not looked at, I'm getting excited, you can hear it in my voice. If you've not yet looked at a Samsung tablet running Samsung DeX, so like one of their newer tabs, you're missing out big time. And I mean, apart from like, oh, I need to live in Apple's ecosystem. Okay, if you don't need to, you're just looking for a good tablet that's responsive, but it works more like a traditional operating system might on the desktop, like a Mac OS or Windows OS, or to a certain degree, Chrome OS, to a certain degree. Samsung DeX has been, as far as I'm concerned, the killer feature. Even with a lack of optimization across the board, last year, it still worked well, and it did darn near everything I needed to do, and quite honestly, gave me less problems than the iPad did with the software that I had to run, that I needed to run. Again, same software, same vendor software, on third-party software on either platform. What I found was that the software looked better, and that's subjective, admittedly, but ran better, certainly, and I was able to operate it the way that I was wanting to operate it, like moving the windows around, because in this scenario, I needed to find a tablet. It had to be iPad OS, or it had to be an Android tablet, one of the two. I could not use a Mac in this scenario, and I could not use a Windows machine in this scenario. So what I'm saying is, even with, Stage Manager, we're on the cusp of Stage Manager being released, and I think that will go a long way, a very long way with Windows management, should Apple be able to iron out all the kinks. Still kind of in beta, but there's been a lot of feedback and hopefully a lot of attention paid to it, because it's pretty much their tentpole feature for this iteration of iPad OS that's yet to be released. That said, I can only tell you, running apps on macOS, like iPhone apps and iPad apps, they're not, like, great idea, questionable implementation. Like, Android apps run better on Chrome OS, and Android apps run better on Windows than iPad or iOS apps run on Mac OS. And I'm just telling you, generally, there's a lot of quirks and usability issues. It's a feature that was never really fully baked because macOS, of course, was not optimized for touch, and the mobile device was not necessarily optimized for a desktop environment. Maybe one day they'll straighten that out. I don't know if Stage Manager will fix that problem. I really don't know, because there could be window resizing issues. Maybe the windows want to be resized. Maybe they don't want to be resized. Maybe they can't be resized. So that's, again, a limitation that Apple may or may not address. That may be an issue or a limitation that third-party developers may or may not address. What I'm telling you is, out of the box, Android and Android apps in Samsung DeX work more like a desktop equivalent. And I'm going to show you here. Now, this is going to be a little awkward because I'm going to hold it up. I know, high production value here, shooting this stuff live. I'm running in Samsung DeX, but what I've got, and you'll have to pardon if my finger's touching the bottom of the screen, that's going to make it somewhat difficult. I got my NDI app here. Let me go ahead and minimize that. Sorry. It's a little difficult to do at this angle. Okay, am I touching the screen? There we go. I'm touching the screen down here. The bezels are too small. But the other apps here, like Google Photos, I'm able to browse side by side. I'm able to move it around. I'm able to increase or decrease transparency to the window. I can pin it to the top. I can maximize it full screen, and then it turns into the tablet app, right? And it's very, very slick, very fast, very responsive. And more importantly, I can move these windows around. I can drag and resize and watch what happens to my calculator. It goes to the ticker tape on the side, right? Or I can resize it again. It's a little easier to do when I'm actually using it rather than just trying to demonstrate it. I just figured this would be the easiest way. But this is the way I feel iPad users have been wanting to use their iPad from the beginning. This is what they've been clamoring for. And what I'm telling you is, this exists. This is the tip of the iceberg of DeX. Sorry about tapping the mic. I can go into the task switching view and get, an overview of what's going on. I can, minimize to the desktop. I've got the back button back here, so I can close out of apps or go backwards. I can open up all the apps, kind of like, the start menu or whatever. I can use keyboard shortcuts as well, though I'm not really thrilled with Samsung's rather flimsy keyboard attachment. I wished it was a better stand, kind of like the iPad stand. Suffice it to say, though, I've had a better experience with using this add-on with Samsung DeX than I did with the iPad keyboard on iPad OS. There have been quirks, certainly, but what I wanted to point out was specifically this is what is that not what you want on iPad OS? Like I said, I would love to have an iOS app work like that on a Mac desktop, right? Much like you can on a Windows desktop with Android apps, right? And again, I say that's it's been a better implementation of the idea. There's the weather app right there. I pulled up a couple apps just to be able to demonstrate it. So that was something that I would have wanted in iPad OS, something that Stage Manager may bring, but in a limited way, in an Apple way, right? And it may work well enough. All I'm saying is, if that's the kind of experience you've been wanting on a tablet, it exists right now. I pretty much run exclusively in Samsung DeX mode. DeX is just, it's a boon. I love Samsung DeX. They've been iterating slower than I'd want them to, but even with Android 12 in the default tablet experience that you can switch to if you want, if you just want to be full screen in an app, and I rarely ever want to be full screen on a tablet app. It has happened, of course, when you're watching videos or you're doing something that you need the full screen for. It's pretty much exclusively in Samsung DeX mode. They're going to hopefully continue with it, because if they stop developing it, I will be very angry. Like, it's that kind of experience that you don't necessarily realize exists because no one's told you about it. You're in a completely different ecosystem, and you're wanting that's if that's what you want, now you know where to get it. I'm telling you, been using it for a year, not 2 years, year and a half. I've lost track. Not perfect, but I'm telling you, it makes an Android tablet so usable, and it's an amazing iPad multitasking alternative if you're not happy with the way that iPad has handled multitasking to this point. I thought you deserved to know. So anyway, that's Samsung DeX. Hopefully that made sense. Dex is Samsung's underplayed desktop trump card. I kind of agree. I don't know why they're not doing more with it. I really don't. Like, I don't know why they don't do way more with it. Like, they should lead with this. Forget the regular tablet mode. Dex is the bomb. And they don't, I feel they don't do enough in marketing it. I really don't. They should. Because it is absolutely a viable alternative to the iPad. What software that was? Yeah, that was Dex. It's not really, I mean, I guess it is software, but it's more of a software experience as created by Samsung, or is made by exclusive to Samsung. The first time I heard about it, I'm like, okay, this just sounds silly. And then I started using it. I'm like, what? Dude, that's exactly the way I wanted my iPad to work. I know I'm not the only one. Yeah, we'll see how the new desktop manager works. It's still a little quirky though. Oh, I'm sure that everything's frozen on the that mode because I turned off the camera. I closed out of NDI. It's back. It is back. Although I don't have anything currently printing because my troopers have trooped. Ooh, no. What happened? Was I running too cool on this? Man, I may have been running too cool on this. I'm gonna have to reslice. Because the heads did not turn out. But that's okay, because I'll just throw these little... I'll throw them... Yeah, the heads didn't turn out. I'll just throw them in the giveaway pile. Just some extras. Hopefully the legs don't break. I had one leg break earlier. Yeah, it may have been running at 215, and I found that 220, 225, whatever it takes, works better here. Just get it prepped. I can close Google Photos now. Man, I'm going to have... You know... I was going to say, tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. Not too busy. Well, thank you for allowing me that. And hopefully that was valuable enough for everybody to hear. Hopefully it was interesting enough for people to hear and see. All right, now I gotta keep an eye on this. I'm not gonna reslice it. I'm just gonna adjust it on the printer. It's just easier. That's already there, and once you adjust it, it's adjusted. Oh, Paint Pictionary, fair enough. Let me open up my Discord app on the. I may have to do it though, because I may be the mod. I may be it. Oh, never mind. Fix some dudes here. Although the Discord app, when they updated it, it became crappy on Dex. It became really crappy on Dex. it doesn't. The resizing doesn't. I have to run it full screen, which I mean is slightly annoying. I don't run Discord though a lot on there. It makes it less usable. All right, here we go. Let's try this. I could have done that a little differently, but. Spider? Nope. X-Wing! I didn't get like really fancy with it. There, now I'm fancy with it. That is totally an X-Wing. If you guess it, here's the thing. All it takes is the right guess, and I will have succeeded. So, thank you for that. We have Vanderly doing Gunpla and Dinopla. There's also Tatum. Tatum's streaming right now. Unless you got a new raid to go to. Tatum is painting skulls? What is that? A helmet, a head. What is that? What is Tatum doing? It's a head of some kind. He's got skulls of plum in the background. How about Ohiran? Who's that? Yes, Barnacles is streaming. Hello, Christian. You missed a couple of recordings, but it's all good. Oops, hang on. I got a clog. No, it wasn't 220. That is a clog. Okay, I'm gonna unclog my nozzle. Apparently, boy, I haven't had a clogged nozzle like that in ages. Yeah, that's a clog. That is definitely a clog. Oh, man. Woo! My schnozzle is clogged. No worries about that. Ooh. Can you get out? Can you paste the link? Can you paste the link, Josh? That was all pokey. I don't know if I want to run this overnight. I mean, I have a choice though for MakerDeck. Ohiran. More fiber, yeah. If only. God, it's been so long since I've had to unclog a nozzle. Why is it doing that? Stop. Like the dial is no longer... Even though I'm going one direction, it doesn't, the dial like goes back. I think there's something wrong with my dial. I may need to get that replaced because I've had this problem not just in any scenario where I'm using the dial. It's not, I'm going to have to record this for Bob or Krusty. Here, actually this is, give me a second. Ohiran doing Chillify? She's painting Halloween Roly Polies. We'll go up, right? Yeah, this is a good way of demonstrating it. Okay. And then in order to send it on Discord, I have to compress it. I usually use like Facebook to compress it. Out of Quarters Gamer. Doing Lego bricks. Ohirun is not doing... She doesn't seem to have a very active chat. I'm thinking Tatum. For now. Because he's crafting something and we know him. He's a good, he could use the boost. Good person. Supportive. Interactive. I'm going to unclog my nozzle. Which, I got to remember how to do it again. Here we go. I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. And may the force be with you always. Thanks again for hanging out tonight. Thank you for listening to my talks. My talkie talks. Thank you. Yes, definitely use the Perilla raid and the Maker D1 raid. I'll be over on MakerDeck as soon as I unclog my nozzle and figure out what filament I'm going to be using and what I'm going to be 3D printing overnight. Because I didn't have anything lined up for a 3D print overnight. I've kind of like run through my projects. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Take care. See ya. Tuscan rating. Tatum44, who is crafting some kind of skull, I think, right now. In 3, 2. Oh, he's doing a pumpkin. 3, 2. Oh, I should 3D print a pumpkin? I gotta find a good Star Wars one that I haven't done yet. 3, 2, 1. Frack. Okay, now to unclog. Did it go? Yeah, I hosted. But I didn't disappear on my page. Oh, is that because it's the dashboard? That's the reason why.